Hi everybody, I'm Wallace. I'm a pitch coach and an angel investor, and I'm thrilled to be here today to help you pitch like a rock star the next time you have 3 minutes on stage with your pitch deck. Let's get started. I really only have one thing for you today, but it's really important that when you're pitching, whether it's your pitch deck or on stage, here's the hint. Order your slides to tell a story. And here's a suggestion how to do that. In about 11 slides, in 3 minutes on stage, you should be able to transition from your cover slide where you walk out on stage to your hook slide. Now this is very important. When you walk out on stage, you need to build a context for the story that's to come. Sometimes people will say, "Hi, I'm Wallace. I'm the founder of vReach. We are a virtual reality gaming company that teaches life skills to kids on spectrum. And here's my story." So you may want to frame it like that, or you come out and you hook your audience by saying, "Did you know that 2.5% of all kids born today are on spectrum? That means they have autism." What this does when you walk out and paint a picture of what's to come in the story is it focuses the audience's attention on you and the story. But once we've introduced and hooked the audience and grabbed their attention, it's time to quantify the problem. How bad is it? Well, 2.5 million children have autism, but here's the problem. To get an autistic diagnostic in the national healthcare system in UK can take more than 2 years of waiting list. And that doesn't work for families or for kids. After you've identified and quantified the problem, then we transition and say, "But we have a solution." At this point, you reveal, voila, on the slide, a picture of what your solution looks like, perhaps followed by a second one that says how it works. And then we transition into the next level, which is, how do we make money, aka the business model. The business model is not your pricing necessarily, but it's a description of how your business earns money and scales. If you're a SaaS company, just say it's a SaaS business model, software as a service. It's loaded with nuances about scalability of your company. After we introduce business model, the question is, so how much money can we make? Size of opportunity. Maybe you've heard the terms TAM, SAM, SOM, total addressable market, the amount of money that people spend to solve this kind of a problem. The SAM, serviceable addressable market, how much people in the market that you tend to address spend to solve that problem. And lastly, they're like 3 concentric circles, TAM, SAM, and SOM, serviceable obtainable market share. How much money can your team earn once you launch into the market in a certain time frame? What the TAM, SAM, SOM in the size of opportunity does for an investor is it shows them how deep is the marketplace that you're going into, how much of that money you intend to chase after, and some reasonable understanding of how much you might be able to achieve in a certain time frame. There are different ways to show size of opportunity, but this is a very basic one, and if you're just getting started with your first pitch deck, it's not a bad place to start. Need hints? Google TAM, SAM, SOM. You'll definitely learn more from that. After size of opportunity, we need to understand, so how are we going to compete in this marketplace relative to the alternative companies that are already there, or new entrants like yourself as a startup? How do you compete? Oftentimes this one is described in a 4-quadrant matrix. It's almost kind of a joke when it comes to pitch decks, but still it can be very clear to an investor how you position versus the competition. Usually in that 4-quadrant matrix, you choose 2 horizontal axes and 2 points on a vertical axis. And what's in the vertical top and the right is you, and everybody else is over there. So be very careful about what you choose for those axis points. Like, for example, you may say speed to diagnosis, low versus high, Content and learning engagement, high versus low. V-Reach as a virtual gaming company treating autistic kids to teach them life superhero skills is definitely engaging content that's really quick for diagnostics and infallible when it comes to quantifying the learnings. So after the competitive advantage slide, the question is, so did we start yesterday or do we have some traction? Traction so far, it means, have you built an MVP, a mean viable product? Do you have beta users playing around with your technology and providing feedback? Do you have MAU, monthly active users? Or better, do you have paying customers? A couple of bullet points on your traction slide, or maybe an expression of advocacy from a user, love the service, can't wait for the next release, would really express the work you've done so far to solve a big problem that is quantified for your target user with your great solution, earning your business model, getting deeper into the opportunity. And it's all made possible because you have this amazing team. Now, a couple of hints about your team slide. Sure, you can go to LinkedIn, you can choose the little circular pictures and copy and paste those and line them up nicely next to each other. Better yet, get your team together and put yourself in context related to the problem that you're solving and be together as a group or a team. Take a really nice photo, put it in the slide, and put names so that you can express who are the people. For example, I know some guys who have an AI company where they use camera data watching football games, and they log all the data about what's happening on the field, how many kilometers each player runs, who had the ball certain amounts of time, etc. These guys have a wonderful team slide where they got together and they stood in front of on a football pitch in front of the goal, holding the ball, and the CEO is holding up a yellow card and everybody's laughing. This is a great way to show that there's a team behind this idea, that there's some kind of chemistry and camaraderie, and it really builds confidence in the future investor in who's going to be executing on this great opportunity. Then we get to the part of the story which is the pitch. And it's a thing that we call the ask. So how do you take your great team solving this horrible problem with your wonderful solution? What do you need to move forward? The ask is usually the moment where you announce, we've opened a funding round. So if it's an angel round, you may want to be specific and say, we're launching an angel round of 200,000 euros to help us reach 20,000 monthly recurring revenues within the next 18 months. In other words, or in summary, it's how much money we're raising to achieve which specific objectives within a time frame. Now, if you're on stage, a call to action on the back end is a real value add because you have an opportunity to mobilize your audience. For example, with V-Reach, at the end of the pitch at Latitude 59, the CEO is going to say, and now it's your chance to help us recruit the next generation of autistic superheroes. There's going to be a QR code on her slide, and she's going to say, help us recruit our next 100 users. At that point, the presentation is over, and you say, thank you. That's a signal then to the audience that it's time to clap, and your 3 minutes on stage with slides is over. Now, there are 3 more things I want to leave you with here. How do you get started and ensure that you can flow all the way through when you're super nervous on stage? And there are 3 things to focus on. One is really work on the hook, because hooking the audience is the most important part, especially of a stage pitch. Have solid transitions from slide to slide, ordered to tell a story, and say something really powerful and emotional at the end so people remember you. The hook and the anchor help bookend your story so afterwards people come up to you and say, wow, that's really, really great. Now, since this is a recorded video, I want to leave you with a little Easter egg. and that is there's a free resource that I've prepared. It's nothing beautiful, but it is a Google Sheet with an explanation of how to order your slides in this kind of an architecture, and make sure that next time you're preparing your pitch deck for a stage performance, you've got a great set of suggestions on this Google Sheet. I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you on stage sometime soon, pitching like a rock star. Take care. Bye.